For more on the market impact, let's bring in Mizuho healthcare strategist Jared Holz. Jared, great to have you with us.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And this really, as we had mentioned, this sort of opens up this bigger question. Are insurance companies really denying a lot more claims than they should be at this point? And certainly, if you look at social media and sort of the outpouring, there's a lot of enmity in general on the part of the U.S. population towards insurance companies in general. And what that says to me is that there will be more scrutiny on insurance companies, and more scrutiny is usually a bad thing because that means more regulation. And I'm wondering, is that what is sort of pressuring UnitedHealth and what should pressure the sector at this point?
I think that's exactly what's happening. 5 to 10% moves for the sector, based on, obviously a tragic event for the company and for the space. And I think all that it's doing is kind of, putting the target back on the industry. Again, we don't know what the motives of the shooter were. A lot of investors and other lookers on are kind of assuming or guessing that it has something to do with the denial process. So assuming that that's part of it, does this new government, this new regime come in and take a harder look at the sector? I think it's very fair to say that some of those things were already being contemplated with the new Trump administration, with these nominees he's put forward. But now I think it's kind of a little bit of a slippery slope. And I think everything you mentioned is probably correct.
What is so shocking in sort of looking into this and whether or not UnitedHealthcare actually did deny many patients services that they needed is that there isn't actually a number. That the transparency in this sector is it's a very opaque system. And if you are a customer shopping around and you want to go to the insurance company and pay the insurance company for a premium, that will approve the most procedures, be, the most sort of generous when it comes to procedures and treatments and medications, you can't shop on that basis. The numbers aren't there. Do you think that is something that will have to happen at this point? Because that could really put the insurance industry on its head.
I think that's an existential risk. It's something that the industry has talked about for a while. Agree fully. There's no transparency at all in this industry when you really think about it. I mean, you go into a hospital and have a procedure, you have no idea what your bill is going to be. That's very different than pretty much every other services industry that we have in not knowing the price until you get the invoice. I mean, it's sort of unheard of. So I think some of these things in terms of hospital transparency, managed care or healthcare insurance transparency have been out there for a while. Maybe this brings it more to the forefront. I mean, to me, that's what the stock moves kind of indicator suggests this week. As it relates to managed care, kind of uniquely, not really sure what can be done over the near term, but I fully agree in that when you get a health plan or you are under some employer's plan, you have no idea what the coverage is going to be until you get sick or need something done. So there's no way to know. And I would argue that the transparency is non-existent. It's not limited. There is none.
Jared, let's play a little stock market here. So UNH was, I think, the biggest part of the XLV. It's now number 2 at 10%. If this plays out and things start to go a little pear-shaped and we are at critical support levels in UNH, I mean, there's a chance that, if the ETF starts going pear-shaped, it can drag the entire space with it. Thoughts on that?
Agree 100%. I mean, I put something out earlier this week as kind of like a preliminary view of the sector. And I think when you look at it, 2 things have to happen for the XLV to kind of stay where it is or go higher. One is managed care has to go higher. And the second is large cap pharma has to go higher, because those are really the only 2 subsectors we have with any, notable market cap, as you mentioned. So I think it's really important. I mean, UNH has to be an outperformer in a way, or at least hold serve in order for the industry to hold up or for the XLV to hold up.